What up and welcome to another ER Q&A. On today's episode, for the first time, we're having a person from Tanzania, and his name is Hamed. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right because it's Hamed, because I also know there's Hamed. Hopefully I got it right. Okay, so he has a very, very important question that I believe is very core and key, especially to entrepreneurs in Africa or developing countries. Because his question was, how does he start a business, or how should he move forward with his company when his country is currently having or facing political instability? Which is a very common question I think a lot of entrepreneurs should be asking themselves in developing countries in Africa. Because, for example, for me, in Kenya, we recently had an election. And when we have elections in Kenya, basically businesses kind of slow down or they just completely stop. Schools basically slow down or they basically stop because it's very unstable. People are not sure what's going to happen. Now, gratefully and thankfully, this last elections in Kenya were better than what happened in 2008. But still, businesses and the economy does kind of come to a standstill. So for him, Hamed here, he's wondering, in Tanzania, they're facing a similar thing. So what should he do as an entrepreneur? And this is my advice. The most key thing, the first thing I always put out there is focus on what you can control, okay? Because guys, you cannot go out there and just simply flip the government and make it completely stable, okay? Even in the United States recently with Trump, people were a little bit unstable, unsure what's happening in the business world, especially Trump just pulling new tariffs. So nobody's completely safe from economies going up and down based on the government. Now, of course, in Kenya, Tanzania, Nigeria, and other places in Africa, or even in India, things can be a little bit more wild, okay? But at the end of the day, this should not stop you from starting a business. This should not stop you from moving forward. Matter of fact, it should motivate you to even push harder. And here's the reason why, okay? So for my example, we actually wanted to launch something right here recently in December in Kenya. And for the people we had lined up for the meeting and people we wanted to launch the products with, they told us like, hey, we can't do it because the political thing happening here in Kenya, so we'll have to move the meetings a little bit further, 4 months out. So thanks to the government being a little unstable with the political here and there, we had to move all our agendas back to later in the summer in this year. Now, a lot of entrepreneurs, this is where it's very pivotal right here, guys. When you're faced with a challenge, it's your time to shine. It's your time to actually use your strength as an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is not a person who's always happy and cheerful when the things are going right. An entrepreneur is actually a person who's smiling while they're getting punched in the face in business. So when we got punched in the face by them telling us that, hey, we have to push the meetings later, we're like, that's all good. We can't control that. What we control is, well, what can we do? We didn't stop and basically not do anything. Instead, we actually got together and we're like, let's release even a better version before the time comes. So thankfully, where we had a problem, we turned into a major solution. We actually ended up doing a really good R&D for Hyrec Tech, and we found a better way to deliver the hardware and the software. Matter of fact, this challenge and obstacle has helped us even move our company in a better direction, better than what we were about to do. Because before we were about to rush and try to execute things in a different way. Thanks to the government kind of like making things stop here and there. Now, of course, it's not a good thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but as an entrepreneur, you gotta learn how to use those challenges and flip them around into an advantage instead of a disadvantage. So, long story short, when you're faced with instability in your country for business, don't stop. Don't like just stay, okay, I'm gonna wait until things cool down. Yeah, if a person from 2008 in the US said like, hey, I'm just gonna cool down and not do anything, people who launched their businesses in 2008, people who got into real estate in 2008, they actually got the best investments ever. So just because things are a little bit shaky right now in your country, now I can't say little bit because I know it's very different from different countries, but just because things are shaky in your country doesn't mean you should not start your business or launch it. Matter of fact, it should motivate you even more, because here's the thing about entrepreneurship. The entrepreneurs who end up building great businesses, they go through the most challenging moments in their lives, challenging moments in their country, challenging moments in the economy. If you look at basically Elon Musk, his companies, Tesla, right? You probably definitely heard of Tesla if you're an entrepreneur. You had of SpaceX, you're doing crazy things. And guess what? He went through difficult times, especially when he was starting off. He was facing a lot of challenges in the space industry because it was mostly kind of government run and he didn't really have those connections to the government. He had a lot of challenges, not even political instability. His company was running out of money, and he had like a couple of $1 million left in his company, which meant a couple of months to run the company, and his lights were going to be shut off. Like all his companies were about to go under, but he still kept pushing. Okay, so if you're faced with a challenge right now where you have the economy is not quite stable, please, by all means, do not stop. Don't let something you cannot fully control to stop you from doing something that can really change the environment and actually you building your business. It becomes a really large business that can be able to influence the government. That is your opportunity to be able to pull some stability in the country, because the reason why Kenya right now or Tanzania, we don't really have a lot of stability because we don't have a lot of companies that are able to be like, hey, look, if you guys don't get your things together right now, we're going to pull out and go to a different country that's more stable. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is if you look at Facebook, when there was this whole kind of discrimination in certain states in the United States, Facebook was like, hey, we're pulling our jobs out if you don't do something. And guess what? Those states, they took action. Like, okay, hold on, Facebook, don't take the jobs away. We're going to do something. We're going to work out something here and there. So companies end up having power in the political ways by basically saying, hey, if you guys are not getting your stuff together, we'll up and leave. Okay? So that is why it's very important for you to think about long term. If political instability is something you see, something you need to work in your country for, you can't just be like, okay, I'm not going to do anything. You can't do that. You have to keep working, keep pushing. Because one day when your company is big enough and large enough, you can be able to pull some strings and help your country be more stable by basically having leverage as a company with trade and stuff like that. At the end of the day, guys, please don't let political instability stop you from pushing your company forward. Matter of fact, oh, my phone just dropped. The phone just dropped. Okay, which side is which? Okay, is it this side or is it this side? I believe it's this side. Sorry about that. My phone just dropped from the stand right here, but I'm still gonna keep going, okay? So basically what I was about to say is this. I hope this is not upside down. Is this upside down? Okay, it's good, it's good. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still rolling, guys. This is not scripted. I just like to go off the dome and spit some fire for entrepreneurship. Now, Hamed, once again, I'm sorry about this video, camera flipping down, but we're still gonna keep going here, right? So, the thing I was saying is this. In Kenya, when we had the instability in 2008, is actually when M-Pesa became a huge company. Okay, go research M-Pesa. M-Pesa became huge because of political instability. People could not go to their local bank to withdraw money or send money. They could not do that. So M-Pesa came in and said, you can send it by SMS. Guys, you can tell I'm passionate right here because this is very important. M-Pesa became huge because they took that opportunity of where other businesses were kind of like staying low-key, staying shy. M-Pesa was like, hey, we're coming out strong and we're going to deliver value. And guess what? Through that, M-Pesa is a multi-billion-dollar company. It's one of the largest companies in Africa, and also it's one of the companies that changed the globe in Africa. Mobile payment, right? It's an even bigger mobile payment than the United States. Okay, even Mark Zuckerberg, when he went to Africa, guess what? He was interested in mobile payments because Africa was setting the standards. So what this means is, guys, I know this video is long and I know the camera fell, but we're going to keep rolling because this is something that's very important because you're going to probably face it because I just faced it and I'm probably going to face it again. But that means you should not stop. That means you should even keep pushing forward in your company and keep going, okay? Don't let this stop you, okay? Hamed, you hear me? Don't let this stop you. Keep pushing, bro. And for anyone else who's watching out there, keep pushing, keep hustling. Don't let your country determine what you can be able to do for it. And don't let the government tell you what you can and cannot do. Matter of fact, just because your government is not here and quite there yet, the United States, China, England, all the great nations, they went through political instability. You just have to keep pushing and keep persevering, okay? Thanks for watching. And Hamed, thank you for the question. I love this question. You can tell I was very passionate. Even the camera could not, the stand could not even handle it. It dropped. Okay, so thanks for asking the question, and make sure to keep sending more questions here on ERQ&A. Peace out, and thanks for watching. Badoosh. Come on, Stan, you gotta hold it up. You gotta hold it up for the team.